Greg Marley from NAMI Maine has been with us for a few hours now, and he joins us again. We appreciate you being with us. Keep coming just back to how much there is to process. That there's the weight, I think, of the numbers we're hearing that are unofficial in itself, and kind of just the uncertainty feeling of this person's out there.
All of Maine is going to sleep tonight uncertain about what's happening, whether this alleged perpetrator is going to be captured, and so they're going to bed feeling less safe, and they're going to wake up the same way. And parents need to face their children, to reassure them. Most of the state is going to have school tomorrow, but not in the immediate area around Androscoggin County. But how do you send your children out on that bus, reassure them that the world is a safe place, that there are people they can turn to, identify those people at school that they rely on, that they trust, because they're going to be uncertain. They're going to need hugs. They're going to need reassurance.
Yeah, I'll tell you how I'm doing it. Full disclosure, I'm not sending my kids to school tomorrow, so that's just a choice I'm making. I just want to be with them. So they might want to go to school tomorrow, but after being here for by the time this is all over, I want to be with them tomorrow, and I just want to spend some time with them and just talk about what happened tonight, because I know they know. They knew that I left earlier than I usually do, and they certainly are watching and have seen what's going on, and I want to be able to have those conversations with them, and they'll get a lesson outside of school that has probably got as much value as what they were learning in school. So.
And I bet you're not the only parent who's going to do that. I suspect there's a lot of kids who don't go to school tomorrow, because those parents are going to want to hold them close and reassure them and be reassured by that love from their children.
Greg, obviously you don't have a crystal ball, so I'm not trying to put you in a position to imagine you do, but we can think of things through history that changed an environment. 9/11 would be one. Life changed after 9/11. Does this change us? Does this moment change Maine?
I think life significantly changed in Maine shortly after 7 p.m. We have not experienced this type of gun violence in the state. We read about it across the country, but it visited us. And so it's going to make the state less safe. It's going to bring up a lot of questions about, is there anything we could have done? Early indications point that possibly this man is struggling with a significant mental illness and psychotic disorder. And does it bring in, how do we get people the help they need so that they don't decompensate and do something violent like this? Lots of questions.
And how important to have that conversation versus avoid the conversation, because I think it's an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of parents, I think, to have with their kids, because it's uncomfortable for them to process it themselves. They're trying to figure out their own way to get through this, and at the same time convey that to somebody significantly younger. But I'm guessing, and you tell me, it's more important to have that hard conversation than to just not have it at all.
And I think it's important to acknowledge what you know, the basic facts, not going into too much detail, but to tell the story, to be honest about it in the age that the stage that your child can take it in. Because they need to know, and if they hear it from you as their parent, they're gonna trust that more. Because they're going to be watching the news just like we are. They're going to be listening to the radio. They're going to hear people talk about it, and there's a whole lot of rumors out there.
Yeah, and equally important to take care of yourself. Yeah. You have to take care of yourself. You're not going to be any good to your kids if you don't take care of yourself. So you gotta take care of yourself as well. So, and not just pretend you can get through it, if you can't.
Yeah.
So.
Put that oxygen mask on yourself. Breathe first, and then give it to your child. Yeah.
I imagine one of the next challenging waves will be, one of the questions we have tonight is we don't know anything about people who were injured or died tonight. We don't know their ages. We don't know if they were their families. So, Alex has been telling us, he's been hearing there was a range of age at these locations. One was a bowling alley, likely younger people. So there's the possibility that there are essentially children who died tonight, which seems like it would be a whole other wave of challenging that conversation with children.
Yeah, and it's going to be challenging for those kids at school if that child does not come back.
Right.
And how do you explain that, and how do you support the rest of the class?
Okay.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, because we're all processing it as it's happening, and as we're trying to talk to you about it, and we're all going through it together. So it's
Greg,
a lot. It's a lot for sure.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
You're sure welcome.